Aloha, it's Jessica Baker with Compass Hawaii here for your Maui market update on March 17th, 2023. There's been a lot of activity in the Maui real estate market in the first quarter of this year, but first and foremost, I want to talk to you about property taxes. So if you're already a Maui property owner, then just in the last couple days, you've gotten a letter in the mail that has your property's new assessed value for the coming tax year, which starts on July 1st. So if there's something wrong with your assessed value, if there is, whether it's a value itself or one of your exemptions is off, you have a very, very short window of time during which you can appeal that assessment. So the deadline for filing the appeal is coming up really fast, less than a month, April 10th. So please make sure you are paying attention to those letters, and also that if you do have an issue, you file your appeal by April 10th. Otherwise, you're out of luck. Other amazing news when it comes to Maui property taxes is that even though property assessed values have gone up significantly over the last 2 years, just because the sale prices of our properties have gone up so much over the last couple years, the county is offsetting that with an additional benefit for homeowners who have an active homeowners exemption in place. Previously, the homeowners exemption amount was $200,000 off of your assessed value. Well, now for this coming tax year, it's $300,000 off of your assessed value. So that is a huge savings. And also, if you happen to have an ohana on your property with a 12-month or longer tenant and an active long-term rental exemption in place, that means you get $400,000 off of the assessed value of your property. So way to go, Maui County, way to help the people who are homeowners and live and work here offset their tax burden. Okay, now moving on to the market as a whole. Yes, it's moving slow, but it's not nearly as slow as you think. So overall pending sales, you know that's one of my favorite stats to track, have gone up about 15%. They were about 360, 370 pending sales for the bulk of 2022, the last half of 2022. But now in this first quarter of 2023, they're up between 400 and 410 pending sales. Still overall though, inventory is down significantly, number of buyers are down significantly, the number of closed sales are down significantly. In all categories, those are down between about 40 and 50% as compared to the same time last year. But we do also know that the first quarter of 2022 was sort of like the last hurrah, super busy frenzy. So now on to pricing. I know that everybody thinks that because the market is moving slower, they're going to get some great deals on pricing, but that is not the case so far. Single family homes are still at the same median price that they were for the last 12 months, and that's right at 1.1 million. Condos have actually gone up. The median price for condos now is up to $832,000. I personally think this is due to a lot of heavy demand for vacation rentable condos that is continuing to drive the pricing upward. And condo inventory was even lower than single family home inventory for the last couple years. So on average, the majority of our properties here are selling within 2% of list price. That's still a very, very tight margin. And we actually had a really large number of properties sell still at or over list price in the first couple months of this year. So over 43% of homes listed sold at or above, and 56% of condos sold at or above list. That still is a sign of a very balanced market, if not competitive. Another very, very important pricing statistic, which gives us a sign of how people are viewing Maui real estate in comparison to real estate in other parts of the country and even in the world, is that in the last couple months, over 50% of the property sales, the property purchases, have been cash transactions. That is a crazy high number that we haven't seen in a couple of decades. Through the bulk of 2021 and into the beginning of 2022, we already had a really high number of cash sales. That was about a third of all transactions. But now for that number to clock in at 50%, that means that a lot of people think this is a safe place. And, with all of the bank volatility and stock market volatility, cryptocurrency that we've been experiencing elsewhere in the world, people are losing their confidence in those markets, but still feel that the Maui market is very strong. So a little bit of interesting info on interest rates too, as many of you know who may have pulled yourself out of the market because they were getting too high to be able to make properties affordable. Interest rates have dropped significantly in this last week. So contact your mortgage lender if you've been on the fence about purchasing. See how much your buying power has improved right now just in these last couple days. Some of the mortgage lenders who I typically work with here have sent out rate sheets, and it was a big drop. So that's my big recommendation. If you've been holding out and your motivation that's making you hesitate in the market to buy is strictly fueled by interest rates, it's a really, really good time to get back in and see what's out there. So last thing I wanted to talk to you about today are some specific tips just for prospective property sellers. So property owners here, like a lot of places in the country, either purchased with a lot of equity, built a lot of equity with property values increasing over the last couple years, have a very low mortgage interest rate locked in for 30 years, or we have a lot of property owners here who are getting surprising vacation rental income because of the increased visitor demand over the last couple years. So there's not a lot of incentive for people to sell, to move into something else on the mainland or on a different island that won't give them any of these same benefits. So always the people who are selling here right now are those who are making a life transition, and that has always been the case for us. If you're thinking about selling, it's more important now than ever to price your property correctly. Obviously, in any market, a well-priced property that is presented well is going to get a lot of attention and sell quickly. But right now, there are different things happening in different sections of the market that are very, very specific. There are certain condo buildings that are just hot, and property prices are still going up there by a lot with multiple offers over asking. And then there are other, say a single family home neighborhood where prices have actually come down a little bit in the last 6 to 12 months. So it's really important, if you're thinking about selling, work with a knowledgeable realtor who knows your very specific market inside and out to be able to give you the advice, rather than having your property linger on the market for months and months and months because you're trying to get a number that just isn't achievable. It's not practical right now. So that is it for this week's lengthy Maui market update. As always, with any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call at 808-250-0840. I look forward to hearing from you. Aloha from Maui.